not Memorex. You don't even remember that ad, do you?
We were live.
I'm old enough to remember.
Ring over there.
There it is.
Yeah,
Well,
great.
it's struggling.
Where you going?
I think we're live.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know now.
Well,
Went off.
that one down there is green.
Well, that come back green.
Try. So it's
And
6
that's what
o'clock.
it's-
I'm gonna get us started. We don't have a chairman or vice chairman at the present time.
Well, I think that ought to be the first order of business.
And I was gonna go ahead and let's add that to the agenda here, after we call roll. Is that you?
Yes, sir. Mayor Hobbs,
Here?
Secretary Hunt,
Here.
Commissioner Hillsman,
Don't see him.
Alderman Crosland,
I'm here.
Vice Mayor Messick,
I'm here.
Alderman Parsley, Commissioner Zach Moulton,
Yes. Well, you
Closer.
Yes, here.
Commissioner Benjamin, is it Pfeiffer or?
Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer?
Yep.
Of course, myself, Lonnie Fold, I'm here, and the new billing coordinator, Jamie, could not be here this evening. She'll be at the next one.
So we have 5, which is a quorum. The next is approval of the agenda, and I would like to add right after citizens' comments, election of officers, if that's okay with everybody.
So I'm not sure who's supposed to sign this.
Well, we'll know
Once they.
once we get through here, yeah.
So we'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of election of officers, please.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote, please.
Aye.
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 5-0. Any citizens' comments? Hearing none. So at this time, we need to elect a chairman and a vice chairman, and we'll take nominations, please.
Well, I'd nominate Gary Hunt to be chairman.
Got a nomination for Mr. Hunt to be chairman. Any other? Hearing none. Mr. Hunt, I assume you'd be willing to take that on?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's vote, please, I guess.
Aye.
Aye.
So we'll do that 4-0 with 1 abstain. Now we need a vice chair.
Well, I'd nominate Mr. Bahudin to be vice chair.
My first day.
First day. Man, you're in it deep.
It comes at you quick, yeah.
Didn't tell me that.
So would you be willing to serve as our vice chair? Okay, perfect. So
I don't know what I'm doing, but
That's all right.
I'll find out.
you'll fit right in with the rest of us. So, we have a nomination, I guess let's vote.
Aye.
So we'll do 4-0 with 1 abstain, and then I'll turn it over to the new chairman.
Well, we need to replace me as secretary.
Okay, now we need to replace Mr. Hunt as secretary.
So,
Look at this man right here. He's got a pen in his hand. I'm telling you.
Okay,
I
so,
nominate Ben.
okay, Ben, let's vote real quick, please.
Aye.
Aye.
4-0 with 1 abstain, so, the new chairman is Mr. Hunt, then we have Zach and we have Ben, in those jobs. So, we'll turn it over to you, Chairman.
Okay. Okay, next item on the agenda is review the previous minutes. Everybody, technically, if you were not here last meeting, which you two were not, you can't vote on it because you don't know if it's right or not. It's just minor technicality. So-
Why don't we push them to the next meeting, or you're not gonna have a?
Well, let's see, we would,
You just have 3.
We would just have, well, but we got 5 present.
Yeah, but you're gonna need 4.
You had to get 4 votes to approve.
Votes to approve.
Okay,
So
let's postpone that, then
Okay.
just,
We'll do them both together.
yeah,
Yeah.
postpone that. And then the next item will be the mayor's report.
Yeah, and so I give you guys a handout here, and if Adam, if you'll come up to the table with me here. What we're trying to do is get everybody up to speed a little. So the handout that I give you, and Adam will help me as we mess this up, but what I just wanted to know is I wanted to give you a list of current grants that we're actually working on, their rehabs. As you can tell by the handout, we have a total of 7 grants going right now. Each one tells you the money that's being spent, what our portion of it would be, and what exactly it is. And then we also provided some maps so that you guys can see exactly what each grant entails. This is probably more just for some informational purposes for you tonight, and we'll come back together at the next meeting, and we'll have this under this part of the report as well, and we can talk about these grants. The other thing that I would like to add to this is I had reported to this commission some time ago that not all counties and cities inside of the state are going to use their ARP money, and that people were turning that back in. And I had wrote a letter to the state saying, hey, Manchester would really like to pick up anybody's money who turns it back in. So I got a response this week, and we're being considered for an extra $200,000 and we're going to add it on to, which one was that, Adam?
It's the first one listed,
Top one.
102, 167, the
Yeah.
ARP sewer rehab. This is the one that many of you know as the one that Norris Brothers was completing and is complete, substantially complete at this point.
Yeah, and so we're going to amend that once we get all the paperwork final, and we're going to add more footage to that rehab with the extra $200,000.
Where was that one? Where is it?
That is the,
It's the first 2 maps that are shown.
Okay.
In your packet there. One of the biggest portion of it was back along the river, back behind Sycamore Drive. And then some of it along Sycamore Drive, and then right behind, actually between Mr. Carter Sain's pool and his house right there. Runs up under his pool, and then from Sherwood Drive over to the Willis Farm at the head of the Duck River. There was 3 main sections of line that was rehabbed at that.
Is that the one that went across 55? Gateway?
No.
This is a different one?
Yeah.
Okay.
and what this rehab was, Adam, we put in what size
Yes,
pipe?
sir.
It was 24-inch along the river, along Sycamore, and then it was just cure-in-place lining and manhole rehab in the area that's pointed out as Project Area C, that's along Sycamore and back behind Mr. Carter Sain's house there across his property. And then I believe it was 15-inch line from Sherwood back to the Willis Farm.
And so what'll happen is
Thank
Adam
you,
will
man.
pick up and design something
I like it.
at either end to add on to this project, but that'll be part of the ARP money. And so we do expect for that to come to fruition. Let's see here.
This is existing sewer line, we're just rehabbing.
It's either being rehabbed in place or completely replaced in kind but upside.
Yeah. So, like I said, just hang on to that, you guys can review it, and then we can talk about it again at the next one, and we're probably gonna have a couple more that we're gonna discuss and add to it, at the next meeting.
One small
Sure.
request. Would you add a line for completion percentage on the project, if we think it's 40% done? Just so we can have an idea of where we're at.
Sure.
And, the stagger of everything going on.
Yeah.
Can you also point out to us which pictures go with which project?
Yeah.
Which map goes with which
I
project?
can, if you just wanna look at this packet, you'll see the contract number on the left side and the title,
Yep.
and then
Okay.
down in the, down in the
yeah.
bottom left-hand corner
Got
of
you,
the
all
map.
right, there you go. I see.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. And as you can see, right, if you total these up, I mean, you're roughly in the neighborhood of, 12 to $13 million worth of projects that is currently going, that was through grant monies. That some of them, the water tank and a couple more, those are projects that are, we're signing documents and things on. They haven't quite started, but we'll add the percentages and let you know when the start dates are and stuff. But these are all approved grant funding for the city of Manchester.
So this is $12 million worth of work that the city's basically got $3 million in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yep.
The city's portion, is it in the budget yet?
It is,
Did you
yes. We've been accruing for a couple years for it, because, like I said, this money has been on the table, since the inception.
Is this come from the art money?
Yes, this
Okay.
is all, most of this is art money. Some of these new ones had to do with the industrial board, where they helped us get money for the industrial site as well. And we'll go through it, give everybody time to read through it, and please jot down some questions, and then next month we'll dive in just a little bit deeper. But this was just a way to kind of update on everybody. Like I said, these are projects that we're doing external to what water and sewer is doing internal, and then Director Foley, he will cover those in his packet on what he's got going as well.
These are the federal monies or state monies?
Both, ARP was federal and state, yes, sir. And then some of
Some of
them,
the others same way?
yes, and some of them you can tell are fast track
Infrastructure?
yes, there you go. Development grants, AG, track grants, and those, a lot of those, we work with the industrial board. Miss Annie, who I just seen come in, thank you, has been very helpful to bring in another $5 or $6 million through her board, for infrastructure inside our industrial parks, and then that goes out into the basins that they serve as well. So it's been a collaborative effort, between federal, state, industrial, and the city of Manchester. Yes, sir. And that's all I have at this time.
Next item be director's report.
It's a test in the book. Like you read.
No, that's fine, I can read it. We can all read that, yeah.
Just doing it for everybody, I kind of split it together with any questions you might have or comments you want to talk about. And answer questions.
And one comment real quick is, as you can see, I mean, it's a pretty extensive report. It's 18 pages. He gives you a table of contents. And this is something that Lonnie's been doing since he come on board. I get this report monthly, and we're just gonna share it. And like he said, anything that you see as you go through, I mean, it touches safety, personnel, training, distribution of water, collections, pre-treatment plant. It's a host of everything that they have going on inside his department, so.
Lonnie, safety's a humongous thing for me. We list 2 injuries, 2 foot injuries here. First of all, how are our associates? Are they recovered? Everybody okay?
Yes, sir. They were, very minor, kind of rushing, not paying attention type of injury. One slipped off the curb, and one, we were doing some work at the warehouse, so stepped on the nail.
Okay. We addressed they take an extra beat with it. The last thing we want is people getting hurt.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Were those OSHA reportable or?
No, we reported them
I've got one thing, and it's just from my personal, I'm sure everybody else is smarter than me here, but I don't get this until I sit down here. Do y'all get this? Where do you get it at?
They email it
It's
to us.
emailed to you.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, they do the rest of it.
Yeah.
The important members of this committee get it.
That's true, I guess that's right, but I don't think I've seen that. I don't
Well,
know.
since he's new-ish.
I'm new,
He may
yeah.
not have been added to the email.
I don't know, Lonnie, I'll holler at you next week, yeah.
And sometimes it'll be a little bit later than other reports I might get, and it's simply because I'm trying to get all of
Yeah.
the correct information.
Yeah.
Normally, when, we turn it in, so Sage can get it compiled, it may be 2 days before
Yeah,
the end of the month, and I need to wait till the end of the month to get Duck River numbers.
Yeah, and it may just be me,
Which-
okay? I'm terrible
Which,
about looking
you
through
know,
the email.
you need to make sure which email address you
Yeah,
have.
yeah, we'll work on that.
Well,
Yeah.
and just as an FYI, right, we created a water and sewer, email
Yeah.
commission so that when we hit it, we'll make sure that you're on there.
Okay.
We don't do them individually, like, we just hit it and it goes
Yeah.
out to that group.
Yeah,
But
distribution.
I'll make sure you're on there.
Okay.
How was,
Lonnie, what about the overflows? Were they, manhole overflows, were they worse because of during the weather we've had? Same?
About the same. With the recent freeze, was getting with a thaw, kind of caught us by surprise, but, about the same as what we had before.
how did our water loss look for January?
We, well, we're a month behind.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, we're gonna be a month behind.
so how do we
That'll
look
be-
for end of the year?
There's a big discrepancy that Kathleen and I noticed, but I think it's due to the way we were pulling the numbers, from the previous person that was doing it. Because we based it on purchase versus bill.
Okay,
So it looks like it's way larger than what it is, but I think we need to revise it, and we're gonna work on that with the new, billing coordinator to make sure we're putting it, to where to bring it back down to normal.
purchase versus build is the right way to look at it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I noticed Duck River Utility Commission is asking everybody to conserve water
Yeah.
for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, there was it's on topic, but it's not our topic, a very interesting story from Deckard.
Yeah, I read that a couple weeks ago.
Nissan had a meter that wasn't working,
Right.
so.
Well, they said, yeah, they're sending somewhere between $150,000 to $200,000 of free water.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Nissan.
Yeah, it
And
was-
Nissan's fighting it too.
Yeah, it was an interesting story. I've got it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Is there, is that all you got, Lonnie?
Yes, sir, that's all I just.
Budget reviews next. I don't know if there's, looks like we're on, revenue wise, looks like we're right on track compared to the actual to the budget. So, close.
And revenue will run 1 month behind, just like everything else. So you're seeing 6 months there
Yeah.
at 51.63%. So it's,
One quick question. I looked at this to come before the meeting. There are different codes for like personnel, comes 3 times. Is that different departments, so it's broken up separately? Is that why there's?
it is, yes, sir. And Lonnie, you want to take that or
Then
you
just-
want me to, or?
Is that curiosity, how the,
Oh, how, let me make sure I understand the question.
So we have personnel broke out in different parts of the budget. Part of it is administrative, part of it is water collection, part of it is sewer rehabbing, and then part of it is what we do contractually with contractors. And we break all 3 of them out, because as we bill them, we show you all the revenue, but water's billed at a number, sewer's billed at a number, And so we break the budget out that way.
Yes, to align them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The contractual services portion is, that's a pretty big number.
Yes, and so what's happening in there is you're pulling in a lot of the ARP projects as they finish. We don't have them necessarily in the budget, but we have the money already from the ARP, so it will balance itself back out on the revenue top.
The offset is somewhere else.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But that's why it's over at the bigger pace, because we don't know when projects are gonna finish, and,
Yeah.
and so,
Okay.
yeah.
Makes good sense.
Okay.
Lonnie, is there anything in here that is keeping you up at night right now?
All of it. Not really. I did share with the mayor, I'd like to do some revision when we make the, I guess it'll be 27 budget. There's some things I'd just like to separate line item wise that right now get kind of jumbled all together and kind of skews the budget to where, like, for example, there's nothing in here for safety.
Yeah.
The training needs to be increased, but we need to kind of just delve into it and break some line items down so it can make a little bit more sense to, regular people like us.
You know, Lonnie, in your department particularly, I think a line item for training is a great idea. So we can dedicate monies to it, and you don't have to worry about it. You know, we're gonna spend X amount to make our people top notch.
More line items always make it more transparent and use evidence. We're learning from. Instead of having a $5 million miscellaneous account.
Yes.
Well, and also, I'd like to make this a suggestion to you guys. Previously, we try to put this budget together in here, but I think a work session or two before the meeting so that you can start picking the sections apart and actually doing some financial, type analysis. Because in the past, right, I mean, the directors kind of just pushed it all together, and I think that it would be good for Anthony, a work session, the financial director with us, and honestly look at how you want to do some stuff for the coming years. I do intend to look to ask for some bond money to keep rehab going, and I think that would be part of the work session to discuss what that does. We have some that's gonna pay off, we have some debt that will pay off in 2028, and our financial guy has said that, we can go ahead and borrow X amount of dollars, pay interest for a year, and then it won't increase our payment from what you're doing today.
Keep cash flow about the same.
Keep that the same, and then allow Lonnie to continue to rehab the city, because the ARP money is almost gone, right? So now we're gonna have to internally do it. We'll be able to find some more grants as we go, but, part of something we submitted to TDEC, Adam and Lonnie and I, and we need to probably get that for the next meeting too, is remember, we submitted a 3-year plan on rehabbing some lines all throughout the city, and it had cost structures with them, and we'll bring that to the next meeting. But that needs to be part of the discussion forward, and we need to finish out the next 2 years on top of that and see what it is we truly need to continue to rehab.
The budgetary process, it typically, in governmental organizations, just take last year's numbers and add 5% or what percent. And I think it's more beneficial if you, not necessarily sunset the whole thing, but go back and defend that we really need it here. Then you'll have these big adjustments. You didn't spend any money here, but we spend it over there. Let's go ahead and get it where it needs to be to begin with.
Yeah, and I think, it's like Lonnie said, right, we need to make this easy to read and make it easy to follow, and that to me, is gonna be the easiest way. I mean, is he gonna need to add some employees next year? I mean, we just need to have the whole conversation, and then, like you said, look at what we think the increases are, and then add the capital project lines to it for the money that we need to spend.
Right. Any more discussion on the budget? Water loss report was next.
I kind of jumped the gun earlier.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Covers-
I was so excited about it.
covers that.
I do have one more question, though. We're reporting 14.97 for the year, basically. Lonnie, what's your educated target? You know, if you said when we have this meeting at the end of 2026, what would you want that number to?
I mean, well under 10%, maybe 7, 8.
You think that much improvement's feasible?
We did a lot of with the large meter project that we put y'all bump on, and it really has helped out on as far as the accuracy of those large meters where we have been missing, you know, taking wild guesstimates and things like that. We're at between 99 and 100% read now, based on the results I saw from all the meter changes. So I think it's pretty feasible that we can get below 10%. We don't have very many leaks now. I mean, when we get them, we find them pretty rapidly and take care of them, so.
I think 10%'s a great goal if you're.
And we were
I think
discussing
it
this.
Put us in the top 10% in the state.
Yeah,
If not 5%.
Yeah, I think that's a great goal.
Making sure that we're capturing and calculating correctly. Previous roles I've had, we work with other departments and try to get their water loss, their usage as well as happening here. For example, parks, they have a 500-gallon tank they fill up 20 times a month. That's not getting reported to us. Or if it is, it's not getting to my desk. Same thing with Georgia's group. You know, I put meters on trucks in the past before just to make sure we can make it simple. Hey, cut it on, it was reading 1, turned it off, it's reading 2. Give me that reading, we'll calculate. But I don't think none of that's happening here.
Okay.
And we're just kind of guesstimating roughly every month the same amount. But during the summer month, trees got to grow. You know, I'm sure 2 gallons of water from parks is not what they're actually doing. So moving forward, we're going to try to work with AJ, work with George to get some tracking mechanisms. Hey, spreadsheets, fill this out, turn this into me at the end of the month. Not going to cost you nothing. We'll do all the leg work, hard work, just something to notify me that you are using it. You know, same thing with like our combo trucks. They guesstimate what comes out of the hydrant, but there are a little bit more accurate ways to get it. And we just need to start putting that into part of our best practices.
All right, that's excellent.
So what about new water meters for, I know the big water meters made a difference because they calculated
Right.
correctly. Could that same not be said about water meters for
Oh,
individual?
absolutely. I've been saying since I've been here that, for it to be this year, we're still reading meters by 2 eyes versus AMI and other technologies that are out there. And, previous leadership was helping to get some of those quotes. We just kind of got busy and got away from it, but we'll put it back on the table because that, like I said, where I come from, this reading,
Yeah.
reading manually, that's like, what? It's 2026, why are we still, what do you mean going to the meter and getting a reread? And I can sit at my desk and hit a button and read the whole city. Now, it's
Yeah.
going to be some cost with that, but that system it's more than just meter reading, is what I explain to people. That system can tell us pressure, we can know what main breaks are at, chlorine residuals. I mean, there's a plethora of things that it can tell us on a daily that would assist us in making us a better utility all the way across the board, water and sewer. We just have to have the funds to invest
Well,
in it.
but
And you're
there's a return on that.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
good. You're gonna
that's
recoup
a
some of those
payback.
costs,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We looked at that a couple years ago and it got kind of shelved.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did, we looked. at
Do you
the costs.
remember a number? Ballparkish?
It was pretty,
Close.
it's
Somewhere
well up
around
there. That
3
sounds
million.
about right.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And it depends on the technology you want. They have, if y'all are talking about those same meters that was introduced to us that are from across the water, Germany somewhere, like that technology is already outdated versus American-made right here. And some of the companies we already use, like, for example, Badger, we already have their meters we're using. They have excellent technology that ties with the wastewater plant, and it can help us on the water side, pressure-wise. I mean, everything can be notified, and we can get notified beforehand. So before the call comes, we already know it. We've already been notified, hey, you got a pressure problem over here, go over there and look, main break. Before anybody even calls it, we know it. We can get the message out to the residents on the new TextMyGov, and it kind of helps with on the PR side for sure. But it also helps us to slow down and make sure things are done correctly. Identify those hot spots, areas where we know main needs to be replaced, because we constantly have breaks on this side of town. And all kinds it's just information highway. I mean, I think it would be worth it. Like I said, I know Manchester is a smaller city than where some of the ones I've come from. I think the last one, for example, it was like a $16 million project, but when you think about all it encompassed and everything it was able to accomplish, it was worth it, like within the first freeze, and it paid for itself. Able to shut off meters automatically, not having to send staff out on dangerous roads, freezes. It's like it just pays for itself.
Well, if you're selling 1.6, $1.8 million worth of water every year, I mean, we're doing better than that, I think. That's probably 3.2 or something like that, add both inside and outside. And if you can save 2% on that, you go a long way to paying for those meters.
Yeah.
Eventually, we've got to do something with water conservation, because, you know, we're not getting any more water.
No, I don't think so either.
Sources.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's so much, TVA's requiring so much Normandy Dam to go on downstream, so we can't just shut the dam off because we need it.
Yeah.
And if we keep having growth in the county, and the other counties downstream keep having growth, they
Like
want
Blood.
it too. Of course, we're the only one that's putting water back in the system. Manchester is. Tullahoma's not, the base is not. So, but
Say we are a small city though, but Tullahoma has that capability right now. They can see exactly what's going on in
They
their
got
system,
the-
and they're not much larger.
Well, Duck River Electric does, you know, they swapped the meters out a couple years ago. Same thing, they know exactly what's going on. So, maybe we need to charge Shelbyville for our sewage. What we're
All
putting
right.
back in.
Let's see how that works out.
Lonnie, I can't remember if it was last meeting or meeting before last, you brought up somebody getting water out at North Coffee. I think it was North Coffee. Did you figure out who that was?
Still hadn't figured it out. I had the distribution guys kind of set up around there to see. Haven't seen that truck since. I haven't. I don't know if he noticed me noticing him, but I haven't seen him. But I did tell the staff kind of.
Stake out for water.
Yeah, go by there, because like I said, that's another part of the water loss, you know, big 1,500 gallon back truck filled up every evening. Nobody knows about it. I mean, we try to calculate it into flushing maybe, but it won't be accurate.
Okay. Okay, new business,
What I wanted to do on here, I didn't include anything in impacts yet. I just kind of wanted to get some thoughts and ideas across. This first one, for example, we have a brand-new wastewater treatment plant team, all the way from the chief down to the bell press operator. And we've been noticing that the plant is not as in bad shape as it may have been previously stated. A lot of it is just lack of maintenance, cleaning, and we've been doing the best we can with the equipment that we have. Well, the oxidation ditch, that tank is about roughly 25 foot deep. Adam, something like that, about 25 foot deep, that oxidation ditch.
That's
Approximately, we got somewhere in there. There's no records, no paperwork of it ever being cleaned. And we reached out to a company, they gave us an awesome presentation. I didn't have time to put it together, but roughly 6 foot normally is what's supposed to be in there trash-wise, because that can be clean. Our oxidation dish, the way it's designed and set up, it cannot be out of service. We can't shut it down for cleaning. And that may have been why it's never been cleaned or hasn't been in 30-plus years. With the help of the contract operator we have, Mr. Paul and our staff, we determined that we think that's quite a bit of what the issue may be out of the plant. So just a rough ballpark quote I asked them to send me, it's around $600,000 to clean this basin and leave it in service. It won't interrupt anything. Now, according to studies and surveys, this should have been done, every couple of years. There should be a cleaning 2 or 3 years, based on equipment that we have and some other things. We anticipate this probably hasn't been done in, 15, 20 plus years. In addition to that, while the head works at the plant, there is not designed as normal plants that I've run and oversaw, with this bar screen that's supposed to remove the rags and keep that junk from in there. That not being there is causing all this to happen. So we're bringing it in, it goes through the process, and then it just settles down, and we can't, and it's affecting clarifier, it affects motors, everything that's in there. And we find out it's all because of trash. Even with the disinfection with the UV, it comes through baskets that are not designed for that type of, an amount of trash, so it ends up affecting the disinfection. So I just kind of wanted to bring it up that that's the route I want to go as far as getting with finance, checking what we have in the budget, this clean. And it's kind of twofold, which is with the number 2 on here. We can spend this money, get it cleaned right now, and we'll be fine for 30, 40, 60 months. But it's gonna go right back in there because we have no bar screen. We reached out to a contractor, they came by, they actually took some numbers, gave us a quote on installing the mechanical bar screen that would help alleviate some of the rags. And to my surprise, it wasn't as much as I thought it was. Turnkey, everything was right at about $200,000 for one, so you multiply that time 2, you're right at $500,000 with any kind of extras. So what I wanted to show was you can spend $500,000 for the bar screen, or you can spend the $650 for cleaning it, and then we have the same problem again. So it's kind of a way, they need to coincide hand in hand. We need to clean it, and then we need to put the bar screen in to prevent this from happening in the future. Like I said, 6 foot is like the average according to the contractor, the vendor. We anticipate that we have about 12 foot. 12 foot is half, 50% of the capacity of the tank of the oxidation ditch. And just by cleaning that, that'll free up some capacity. We're working on doing stuff out in the field, because like I explained to everybody, it doesn't start at the plant and then go out into the system. It starts in the system and comes to the plant. So we can alleviate some things out in the system, which we're working to do. We can kind of control what comes in. But I just wanted to bring it up, because when I presented it to, or when I do take it to finance, I want to make sure we have the funding and the blessing from this board to say, yeah, that's a smart idea, or I don't want to go around with it, or have any kind of other option that you can present. But this particular company is sole source. I've never used them, but I've seen the presentation. And when the key is not interrupting operations. Every other company we reached out to, and we've been several, they want us to stop. And that's what we're telling them. We cannot stop, not for a minimum amount of time. We need to have operations all the time going as normal, simply with the other, with the I&I and other issues that we have. We need to make sure we continue to run. So they presented that quote, and I told them, I said, well, luckily I have a commission meeting this week. I'll put it out there and see what everybody thinks. And like I said, we still need to move forward with some type of bar screening, because this is just gonna be a repeat offense. We can clean it now, like I said, get it all the way perfect, pristine, you can eat off the floor. You wouldn't want to, but.
I wouldn't recommend it, no.
And then, a couple of years' time, we're back right where we started, because there's no way to remove it. So,
Is there any way of getting an estimate of how deep?
well, yes,
First.
yes, we we took some measurements based on what we could reach because of the way it's designed.
Right.
And at some points you're 6 foot, some points you're lower. But as an average, we're thinking we're right at about between 10 and 12 foot. So just to think of, just
Well,
piled up.
I thought those lift screws were supposed to get the trash out.
They are designed to do that. The amount that comes in is so much that it has broken the screw.
Yeah, we replaced one of the screws, right?
And what they're doing is repairing it with just, cheap material, so it snaps off. It's not, cause like I said, when that amount of debris gets on there, it's not designed to stick on there. It comes, it pulls it up, it's supposed to dump it. Well, it's so much coming in, and it's so big that when it accumulates at the bottom, that screw gets stuck and it'll hang, but it continues to turn, and it'll trip it off or it'll snap it.
Okay.
And so right now, we're utilizing it, but we're utilizing more manpower to go over there 5 or 6 times a day to clean
Keep it
it, to
clean.
make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do. When that could be eliminated by just putting in the mechanical bar screen. We also have some other options we came up with.
Where would you put the bar screen in?
Right there as it
Where
comes
the
in,
screws are?
right before the screws to come in, we've got a designated area, where we identified these would be the best placement for both of them. And there's some other alternatives we've come up with that could be a little, way cheaper. They are not as efficient. It still will take quite a bit of manpower, quite a bit of muscle, like installing a basket, for example, to catch some of it. We would have to physically raise it up and dump it, take it over to the dumpster every day and put it back in. It's a cheap alternative. I mean, I got a quote on that. It was like $8,000. Would it be worth doing it? Sure. Anything is better than what we're doing now, which is nothing. But the ultimate end result is we need to put in the mechanical bar screen to stop all of the trash that's coming in, or be able to at least filter through it so we can just have process operations normal like any other plant would be.
So will we have any upkeep to that mechanical bar screen?
There's gonna be a little bit, but not
Not a big deal.
a big deal. All it is basically, I mean, for simplicity purposes, is like a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
So the most you have to do is keep it greased, keep it oiled so it can go around, pick up the rags and dump them over, send them to a chute, goes into a dumpster and gets hauled off before it goes through the whole process of getting, settled out into the oxidation ditch.
Could there be some grant opportunities to help us out with this?
I'm sure there is, that's why I said I know the mayor's been looking at, different ways to get funding. I was gonna suggest that too, maybe that could be one, because that's gonna be a huge improvement right there,
Yeah.
so.
A couple of questions. Would the objective be to go from 12 to 0, or you said 6 feet is the normal depth? So would you clean it up from 12 to 6 or from 12 to?
In the beginning, it would be the 0, and then the idea was to put us on like a maintenance contract, so they would come out every couple of years and do it, but you wanna keep it below 3 and below. The bar screens will help with that. They'll filter out a lot of that, so we can take the process of them cleaning can get longer. So instead of coming annually, we could do it once every 3 years, or we could put it in a 5-year budget plan and just stretch it out. But, the idea first hand would be to clean it to the bottom, because there are things that are broken, things that may need to be replaced that we don't know about. And while they're cleaning, they have a camera on the cleaning head, so we'll be able to see as they clean, hey, this is broken, we need to get this replaced. And we can kind of figure out how we're gonna do that, because again, we can't take anything out of service. But right now, it's just thick and bucky, you can't see anything.
Since you put up a lot of volume at the same time, would there be any need for a permit to dispose of that stuff, or?
It's hauled off through the company, so and we haul now our sludge and stuff, so it'll be us providing a little bit of hauling, which may cost us on our end a little bit, but it's turnkey with this company. They're gonna come in, they'll clean it, they'll do everything they need and kind of share with us what we need to do with them.
There's a lot of stuff at the same time, so it's not like a waste stream that has to be, solid stuff that has to be.
Oh, yeah, this will just be all,
Yeah,
nothing,
considered as
right,
sludge.
right.
All right, we've sat through a lot of water board meetings over the years, and we've heard what was tore up, but we've never heard of it being fixed. what I
Well, the
wish
screws,
you,
I
the
thought
screws have always been
fixed.
tore up, yeah, well,
Yeah.
we fixed them, but they've never lasted, so,
I
yeah.
know, I don't understand, I really don't understand that.
It's just with the amount of things that we get in the system, that's why it's imperative for everybody to know it comes from outside Eden. That design is, I mean, it's a poor design. And I don't, that's what the city, you know, wanted to bid on or whatever, when they built it, that's what they wanted, but it's just a poor design. I don't think in my 30 years I've seen a sewer plant without a bar screen.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
So-
care how chicken wire, mesh, whatever, we
Something,
put
yeah.
something to catch that, because that's gonna be what causes everything you get.
So what I'd like to see happen is between now and the next meeting, if you could bring us a list of what we need. And I've got faith in you. I've got more faith in you than I've had in anybody that's been there in a long time. And I believe you can get it done. I believe we can fix it. And I believe it'll be fine for years and years to come. But I'd like for you to put together a list of what we really need, so that when we go asking for money, we won't ask for $200,000 here, and then 6 months later, $600,000 here. I'd like to say we need $3 million
Right.
to fix our problems.
And it's funny you mention that, because I am working with the staff to get just that, because that's the same question I have.
Yeah,
I like to present it as one project. Here's the wastewater treatment plant. We don't need, you know, $100 million plant. We need $5 million to correct these
Yeah.
issues, and we'll be fine. And then break it down by kind of a list. It doesn't all have to be at one time. You know, this takes priority. This is gonna be next, this is gonna be next. And we're working on that. It's simply, I don't wanna just come with the talk. Like, I wanna be able to say, hey, present on the board, we got this, here goes the idea we have, this is what it costs, here's what it cost 10 years ago, here's what it's gonna cost if we don't do this, and we continue to run the plant the same way. We're working on that. Believe it or not, there's so much excitement, because I guess we're moving, that the guys are bringing me like everything, and I'm like, well, some of this doesn't need to go to the commission, some of this we can do in-house, we have maintenance, just get her done, you know, kind of deal. I want the big projects, you know, this is gonna save us, this is what, so that's what they're working on now, and I probably could have that. Majority of it is on my desk
Okay.
now. I just need to compile it into something that makes sense, so when you read it, it's not, it's all over the place. We are all over the place, but
Now
we have a
that's-
strategy and a structure and plan.
That's exactly what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
It's
We
$5
had
million
that list.
and here's,
We had a 3 or 4 page list of that.
but I don't know where it is now. And
I don't know where we're at on
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
that you weren't, that was
Yeah.
after you went off, I think, but yeah, we've had that list.
But it'd be good to
I
have
don't know
that.
where-
And
where it's
and
at.
I feel certain that everybody on this committee, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm pretty sure we're all behind you. And I'm 90% sure that the board is behind you to get this done, because it's been something that's been need to be done for a long time.
You know, but people do realize the sewer side of it, there's always gonna be something to
But
do.
sure, yeah.
I mean, you could make that thing perfect today, and tomorrow something's gonna break, and so there's gonna be a
Yeah.
leak, there's gonna be
Always, yeah.
it's a constant battle.
And that is a true statement. However, I just, in just my time being here, I just think you had a lot of, kicking the can down the road. You know,
I don't know
it's
about
not,
that.
it's not an easy task to sit down and come up with plans and ideas, and, you know, some you're gonna win, some you're gonna lose, and it's easy for me to just, hell, y'all can run it, we stay in our numbers, let's just do that, and we'll be fine. But to stir the pot and say, well, once you open this can, you're gonna open this can, and then you have a lot of that, people telling you from the past, you know, this is always, I don't go by that, I don't work by that. I mean, everybody's had their struggles, I get it, I'm here now, let me see what I can correct. I mean, like I said, there are different technologies, I get everybody, they love Manchester, I'm not from here, I'm the outsider, so my thoughts are a little bit different, you know.
well,
I love Manchester, I love being here, but there's things outside of here too. There are people outside of this city that have had these same issues that I can call on and say, hey, give me an idea, where to start, where to look, what number to call.
I would tell you, Lonnie, we need that. because the system has, it's not breaking news to anybody. The system has been degrading. So what we've been doing hadn't been working. Let's do some things different. But we, as the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, we have to be committed and have the gumption, to your point, Mark, to do what we need to do. And I feel comfortable saying we'll do our damnedest, because this is the best, one of the best meetings I've been in since I've been involved. And I hear plans, and that's what I like to hear.
We've been doing sewer rehab for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Some of the same lines. The problem is you come out with a new technique, like down my property I own, it was slip lined years ago. And I think that was the second time that happened. I mean, you know, what's the latest and greatest? It sounds good, but you don't know till 15, 20, 30 years later if it really was.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But,
If we could, and what I think, Lonnie, if you're okay with, I'd really like to see if you guys would pass something on letting us push the bar screen to finance. That gives us a couple of weeks for Lonnie and I to get that together, to present to you guys and let you know how we can pay for it inside the current budget we have. But bar screening is the beginning of what the rest of it is, and then we can go and move into the actual ditch cleaning is the next part of the conversation. But
Makes
the
sense.
bar screen is something that we all know has got to happen. You know, we're talking, you know, if you guys would consider a motion and something to approve $500,000 to let us investigate that and push it to budget and finance, and then prove our case to budget and finance, and let them say if we can push it to BOMA or not. I think that would be a great first step, because we know regardless of anything else we got to do, the bar screen is a must. I mean, so, and then that would move into the screw quit break-in and to the other parts of the thing. But I think, Lonnie, would you be okay with something like that to me and you to work to get to budget and finance?
Yes, sir.
Is the first step.
it makes sense to prevent the trash from getting in before you clean up the trash that's there.
Yes,
Yeah.
to me, that's the first step in getting us moving in the right direction here, is to get the correct bar screen and start that project.
So the bar screen's 200,000.
For what we need two of
For
them.
one, we need
So
two.
there's four, that's right, there's, so
Yeah.
400.
And then we just want a little bit of
Yeah.
extra to cover
Yeah.
anything that we didn't
Yeah.
actually see when we got started. And like I said, Lonnie and I will work, we'll get to actual quotes and stuff. If you guys will let us go to budget and finance, and then we can push it to BOMA if budget and finance agrees with that we have the money inside our current budget.
I'll make the motion to push a quote to budget finance. I don't want to put a dollar value on it. But let's just make the
Come up
motion to
and
push the
present
quote.
something to us.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I'll second
so
that.
moved. Okay. We got,
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Question? Okay, call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No.
Thank you, guys. And like I said, part of it, just looking through the budget, Lonnie's done an excellent job, and there's a couple $100,000 left in the truck line item that we could probably not, and that'll be at least one, and then we'll look for the remainder, and we'll present that to budget and finance.
Maybe there's enough in there to buy some chicken wire.
Or a
We'll get
basket.
something, but I think that's an excellent start, for what we're doing.
All right. Lonnie, you
Yes,
still
so-
got more?
so one and two kind of went hand in hand. I explained it to you, but, we're doing some things in-house. We've hired some pretty good guys that they used to do this type of work all the time as far as rehab and repair work, and they're on board with us now. So we're looking at tackling the project right here. Might have the streets wrong, I'm still learning. Belmont, St. John area. There's a main that was identified through CCTV, and it's got a lot of I&I, tree roots and bad things like that. It equates out to about 1,000 feet, and we're gonna do it in-house, once we get out of this weather.
We'll be out here Monday.
We'll get started on that, but that, I just wanted the public and everybody to know that, you know, while things may seem like they're going slow, I'm not sitting on my hands. I mean, every day I have the same struggles. I go in and we almost battle the staff trying to tell me why we can't do it, or making me understand why it's always been that way, and I'm telling them, I've never heard of that. I trust you, but I need to verify. Let's try something. I mean, I wanna try anything, but to sit here and just say, well, you know, this happens all the time. Why? I never get the answer to the why. Well, you know, fingers get pointed, accusations get thrown. Okay, clean slate, everybody's got a clean slate, let's start, let's try, let's get them to see that we're doing something to try to alleviate some of this. So this is a project that I worked with some of the guys on, and I'm like, I wanna do it. We had the material in the yard, didn't cost us any piping, it was from an old job. We have manholes from another contractor that brought them over. So all we're really losing here is labor. And like I said, we hired a new guy. This is what he used to do before he came here, so he's ranting, raving, ready to go. Though this may not have a significant impact on the city, that area, it will. It will alleviate a lot of the chronic manholes that everybody, you know, talks about and identifies. And we're gonna be doing that more and more throughout the city. We're gonna work with George before he paves the road, and I go back and tear it up. After, because of a main break, we're gonna replace the main first. And we can do this stuff in-house. We just gotta make sure we have the money to get the parts and the materials that we need. But, just like I said, just sitting here and doing nothing, that's not how I work. That's not my history. I mean, if I gotta get on the backhoe and get out there and dig it, I will. If we just that short-staffed, it's not a big deal. I just want us to do something to show people that we are trying. And you know, I know everybody's argument. I get the phone calls at the office all day about the rates and everything else. So I want to just kind of show you bang for your buck. You know, here we are, we're trying. And if we get it wrong, we're gonna do it again until we get it right. So that's that part. There's another, so that's the basin cage replacement. It's about 1,000 feet roughly that we're gonna put in. We had the issue a couple of months back with the old water pump booster station that everybody wants to tear down and get rid of. And we're having trouble, just to be transparent, we're having trouble shutting the water off. We can't get it isolated. So I have got 3 quotes I'm gonna bring to the mayor for companies that I've used in the past that I know can do it, to install insertion valves, hydrostop valves, that will stop, we can insert them into a hot water line and stop it. And once those are in, we should be okay. Once we're able to shut that water off, then we can move forward with the project that Adam has designed to take this, pumps and everything outside of this old dilapidated building that's unsafe for us to be in, and bring it outside. You know, upgrading the electrical and all that stuff that needs to come with it. But we just had to take the first step and somebody get the quotes. You know, we cannot do this in-house. We've tried, we've exploratory dug. I mean, you can look all around the area. We're putting holes everywhere trying to figure it out. We have just old maps, everything's outdated. We got new GIS person back on board with us. We're gonna be updating this stuff in real time and making sure that everything is accurate and not hearsay. And I love the history, you know, people having the history, but again, I gotta trust but verify. Things change, you know, we all slept since some of this stuff was inserted, and who knows what was inserted and who knows what got approved without our knowledge. So I just wanna make sure people know that we're attempting to do things. That's a project that we got quotes on. I went to the mayor for an emergency to get it done, and I wanna make sure it gets done. So those quotes came in, they're around the $40,000 range for all 3. There's one company that I used in the past that's a part of the government purchasing cooperative, and we are as well, so we get preferred pricing, so I'm kinda waiting on his quote last. I have the other 2, and we could move forward with either one of them. But this last company does more than just that. They do everything. besides just inserting the valve. There's some prep work that we have to do in order for this to happen. Well, with this company, that, you know, you just, here's the job, this is where I want the valves, and I can walk off. Send an inspector over there once they have it open, once the valves are inserted. Does it work? Good. Does it not work? Hey, you didn't install this right, or whatever. We can hold them accountable versus having my staff go out there and continue to do what we're doing and, you know, turning valves here and turning, we don't know. And that's a project that I'd like to move forward with just across the city. Lots of areas have no valves. You know, we go do a main break and we're shutting off 50, 60 streets because valves are gone. I don't, that's wild to me. And while it may be the norm, it doesn't have to continue to be the norm. The new norm will be, we're gonna install them. We're gonna order, if I gotta do a outage that big, I might as well have valves getting installed. And that's if we can do it, in-house. We got a contractor out, and they work right next to us. We'll fix the break, they'll put in the valve. We don't have to, you know, disturb 2,000 customers for a routine broke main. That's just, like I said, that's wild to me. So that's a part of us going further and introducing some of this new technology. Inserter valves is something new to me. I learned in the last utility I worked for. I loved it so much that we bought it. We bought the product and we trained our staff how to do it. It wasn't cheap, but it paid for itself within the first 3 breaks. Because if y'all don't know where I come from, that was a tourist town, and being without water during Memorial Day weekend, you're not gonna have a job.
So what's the difference between there and here?
We're bringing the tourists.
Oh,
We're bringing it. The water leak survey proposal, I believe maybe Jeff or Dana brought it to the mayor before and they got approved to do the leak survey. They were gonna walk the whole system and find the leaks. I reached out to him, he had an injury and he's out and down and gonna be down for a while. So I think we need to look at maybe canceling that PO and spending that money. I don't know another company that does it as thorough as what he's gonna do. I know some others out there, but they're gonna be real high level using drones and nobody's gonna walk the ground like he will. And I explained that to him that because it was already approved, we might have to cancel it and use those funds somewhere else and try to find another company. But I didn't want y'all to think we were still on board with that. Because like I said, he's hurt, there's nothing I can do. I think he's a kind of a one-man show that they worked
Yeah.
with before.
Yeah, he walks the whole city. I mean, it's been a few years since he's done it. but-
Right. And while that would have been excellent for us right now, we just, you know, I just don't want to continue to wait and sit on the funds without knowing a solid time that he can return, and then we end up going into another budget year. Y'all done spend this money, so.
We'll get that canceled.
And then the final one, the large meter replacement project is complete. I have the report, and like I said, we were running between 99 and 100% on all large meters now, based on what they've shown me and the results of what they showed me. So I think we'll start seeing some significant improvement on the water loss side.
How big a sample size is that? Is it a month or?
Yeah, just about a month. From the time he completed it, probably till mid-January, in the third week of January. So that's what I told him, I'd like to continue on, give me 90 days or so, and let me really see a significant, especially since we're 30 days behind.
Yeah.
We can revisit it maybe April, just kind of see where we're at, and if we got our bang for our buck.
What about, I mean, this is for industry, right? The large meter for Batesville and whatever, the big industries that use a lot of water. You know, we have to meter the water we sell too. Has anything, are those meters in good shape? I mean, how many do we have, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just curious.
I do know, they did tell us, everything that we've had repaired or replaced with this last project they've done. So a lot of those meters are new now.
Okay.
A lot of them are in good shape, they just need new registers, they need new hertz or something like that. But for the most part, yeah, they're in good shape. I mean, they're reading pretty accurately. We can get them calibrated as needed.
I was just curious about it, that's all. Yeah.
Well, I thought of that same thing because of Deckard and this on.
Yeah, that's.
Sure did.
But there should be some ways, I mean, that they could have caught that. You know, if you're using that, I mean, it's not even red, like, somebody just guesstimating everyone, they're not actually going out there and reading.
First thing
Everyone is on six.
Well, the article I read almost indicated there wasn't even a meter.
Yeah, I don't think there was a meter.
It was a straight hookup.
But I would think
Yeah.
this chart right here would tell you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I had.
That's all you got?
Yes, sir.
All right, I guess we get, comments from commissioners. You got it?
No, good.
Mark,
I'm happy.
Ben, happy you're here. Zach, you got anything, questions?
Question, but I would request sometimes to take a tour of the wastewater plant. I think it'll be good to visualize, what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
We do that as a group, once a year, so we started that a couple years ago. But yeah, I'm sure
It'll be good to,
Lonnie
so,
can,
we'll work offline on that.
yeah, work out of town.
We'll get you Lonnie's contact information, and you guys, you just go see him as often as you want.
Yeah.
I guess there's another question I have, is there a way or access to the GIS system so we can see where we have manholes, and that has a list of which ones are bad?
Yes. And, well, I'd like to say, you can have the access right now. We can give it to you. We're updating the maps, so
Yeah.
we're kind of behind on reality.
Mhm.
You may see some things that haven't been upgraded. There's a lot of unknown pipe, and that's a focus for this year, to get all that cleaned up and make sure we have the best technology. I want to be able to, where you don't have to really scroll. You hover over a manhole, it gives you all the information that you need. And I know that's going to cost an upgrade, but to me, that's money well spent, because we're keeping everything transparent. We're not hiding anything. If it's a chronic manhole, it's going to tell you it's a chronic manhole. You know, you'll know that it's chronic. We're working to stop it, but at least you'll be able to identify it. So, yeah, we'll get you access.
We had one survey once, they gave us all a thumb drive with a lot of stuff. I've got one thing. I understand that the county approved money to buy the pipe for Sartain Road.
They've approved half. Yes, they reached out to me this week. I'm going to get them a letter that says that the city is willing to do the work for the dog. And I think they're going back to get the rest of the money.
Okay.
To get that done. The other side of it too is the commissioner that I was speaking with, they're gonna reach out to the folks there. They need to get with St. John to get there's been no engineering done yet. So, and I think that part of their part was to pay for the engineering.
Okay.
And so, yes, but they did approve half the money, and they want a letter from us saying that we would do the labor for free, which we agreed to 4 or 5 times now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to write that letter and send that to them this week, and so that they feel good about getting the other half of the money, but they're gonna reach out to, I think it's Ms. Pugh has kind of been the head, and she needs to get with St. John to get us engineering.
There was some holdup on their side of versus 4 inch versus 6 inch. Well, I think 4 is what they finally decided.
6. We were requiring that they do 6 so that we
are
can
you?
put fire hydrants into the system.
Okay.
Yes, because
Okay.
if you don't, then if people sell or divide their land out there, it's not gonna be adequate. So,
Okay.
so yeah, 6 inches is what they're going to.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anybody else? Well, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
I need to amend this
Do what?
to show the new, for the new signatures for the previous notes.
Yeah, get that.
The minutes?
Yes, sir.
We'll hold that off till next.
Right, that's just, but I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's the new.
Yes, yeah, since we didn't approve that.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. I know Mark will second it.
Well, I was thinking Ben or Zach ought to second it, you know, it's their first day.
Get them on the record.
Okay, we stand adjourned.
Excellent meeting, gentlemen. Excellent meeting.